Well, what a game, guys. 10-point win in Manhattan by a redshirt freshman. Wow. What a game. Before we talk about how the Sooners storm into the Little Apple and all, I have a couple of congratulations to give out. First of all, obviously, congratulations to our guy, big game Bob Stoops. What an amazing job he's done here at Oklahoma. And with that being said, also congratulations to our buddy from Oklahoma that used to be here, was here for 1 year with Josh, brought Josh here, and that would be Mike Leach before he left for Tech. Another bowl win, kind of a rough start there at Wasp State, but fixed things there at Washington State, and is at another bowl game. After, now Texas Tech, remember, 99, they beat us. Kingsbury was the coach, who's now was the quarterback, now the coach at Tech. So that wasn't a bad team. Washington State was a pretty bad team. Came back last year, got a little better, but back to a bowl in just his second year. What a job by Mike Leach. And by the way, it's not just his, hi, I'm Mike Leach, I'm just going to go for it on 4th and 20 offense. Their defense is playing well too. But what about Mike's buddy Bob Stoops as they storm into the Little Apple as number 20, Oklahoma, took their second to last road trip of the season at Kansas State and won on the road with the redshirt freshman quarterback, Trevor Knight. 41-31. As we said, to start off, congratulations to Bob Stoops, who surpasses the king by Switzer. 158 now for Bob Stoops at Oklahoma, surpasses 157 by Barry Switzer. In that hostile ground, against a guy that Bob Stoops has a lot of respect for in Bill Snyder. So how did it happen at the Snide? Well, here's how it happened. Trevor Knight got his first ever redshirt freshman road start. Threw for 171 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Jake Waters on the other side threw for 348 yards, 3 touches, and 2 picks. The running back was the story in Norman, as Brendan Clay, with Damian Williams out, Roy Finch playing sparingly, so Brendan Clay got a majority of the pops, 31. But he made them all count. 212 yards and 2 TDs by Clay. John Hubert was the leading rusher for State with 9 carries, 23 yards, and 0 touchdowns. But this is where it hurt Oklahoma. Jalen Saunders, 7 catches, 95 yards, 0 touchdowns. And then, of course, that guy. If you don't know who that guy is, well, you should. Tyler Lockett out of Tulsa. The final Lockett, I hope. He had 12 catches, 278 yards, and 3 touches. The 278 was the most against any OU for a wide receiver against any OU defense. 278 yards in the air. Defensively, though, the Sooners played well. Quentin Hayes had 7 tackles and a forced turnover for a pick. They're late, real late in the ballgame. Jonathan Truman was the leading defensive player for Kansas State. 13 tackles for him and 0 turnovers. The special teams were pretty good too. Regular kicking, Michael Honeycutt kicked in 2 field goals, 2 for 2, a 30-yarder and a long 37-yarder. Ian Patterson played well also for Kansas State. He was 1 for 1, a long of the 28-yarder. The punting was pretty good for both sides also. Jed Barnett, 3 punts for Oklahoma, 39.7 in average, 47 was his long, and 2 of them laid within the 20-yard line. And Matt Cross for K-State, 4 attempts on punts, 34.2 in average, 41 was his long, and 1 of them inside the 20-yard line. So, how did we get to the 41-31 final? Here's how it happened. It happened in the first quarter on the first drive for Oklahoma. Trevor Knight, a 12-yard touchdown pass out of that new-look offense to Sterling Shepard. With 8:26 left in the first quarter, OU with the lead 7-0. Fast forward to the second quarter. Trevor Knight can do it in the air, and now he does it on the ground. An 8-yard quarterback scramble, 14-0 Sooners, 10:58 left in the second quarter. Sooners still ahead. But Jake Waters, 48-yard touchdown to that guy, Tyler Lockett. Kansas State cuts the lead in half, 14-7 with 10:05 left, but Sooners still in the lead. A little bit later in the second quarter, Jake Waters does it again. 30-yard touchdown to, you guessed it, Tyler Lockett. With 5:26 left in the second quarter, 14-14 tie, baby! Then, Brendan Clay breaks up the tie. A 64-yard touchdown run by Brendan Clay. 21-14 Sooners with 4:06 left in the second half. But the second quarter not through with all the scoring yet. Jake Waters, a 90-yard touchdown pass to Tyler Lockett. 3:40 left in the second quarter. 21-21 tie. And just before halftime, Michael Honeycutt puts Oklahoma back on top. 24-21 with a 30-yard field goal with 2 seconds left in the half. So it's 24-21 at the halftime break at Snyder State at the Snide. Second half of the Snide starts the same way the first half ended. A Michael Honeycutt field goal. This one 37 yards out. 10:23 left. 27-21 Sooners. But then Ian Patterson kicks a field goal of his own. 37-yarder. 5:12 left in this third quarter. 27-24. Sooners still on top. Jump to the fourth quarter. With 12:55 left, Brendan Clay gets his second touchdown that we talked about. 34-24 Sooners with 12:55 left in the fourth quarter. A little bit later, after a big kick return by Tyler Lockett, Zach Sanchez, who Lockett just beat all day long. But Sanchez says, you know what? I'm a Division I player too. I'm a young star, and I'm a playmaker. 74-yard touchdown, interception. With 11:47 left, 41-24, Sooner Boomers. Boomer Sooner, baby! Jake Waters for Kansas State scored the final score of the night. A 1-yard touchdown run by Jake Waters. 6:10 left. 41-31 Sooners. The bright side of this is for Oklahoma and Kansas State, the injury report. No injuries to report. Good job. I'm happy to say that, by the way. Heupel's hype of the game. The play of the game offensively. The 64-yard touchdown run that put the Sooners back on top. 21-14 in the first half by Brendan Clay. Stoopsy's stop of the night. Zach Sanchez, who Tyler Lockett beat 3 times at least. 3 times at least that I could think of. Well, then he scores. 74-yard touchdown interception. What a play that was. The goals for this team, offense, don't make mistakes. Amazing job. Amazing job here, guys. Another game with only 1 turnover. And to be honest, it wasn't on Trevor. The receiver should have. There was a miscommunication. The receiver should have gone back to the ball, but didn't. Didn't let that discourage him, though. Hats off to Trevor. Defense. Well, they let things in front of them and behind them. They got the 2 turnovers, though. So they got turnovers, but they did get beat deep with Waters and Lockett. So there you go on that. Special teams, Michael Honeycutt, again, 2 for 2. Nick Hodgson on the kickoffs, 8 of them, by the way. 2 of them went into the back of the end zone with that swirling wind. 2 of them, ugh. Kind of an ugly night there. And Jed Barnett, great night punting. Awesome night punting. That final score, 41-31, that puts Bob Stoops ahead of Barry Switzer and them all. And sets up a pretty intriguing game in Bedlam in 2 weeks. And that doesn't matter the fact that up the road in Stillwater, Baylor finally lost the game last night. Because even without that, the 2 winningest football coaches at OSU and OU, Mike Gundy and Bob Stoops. Bedlam. The visor versus the gel man. Because he has all the gel in his hair. That'll happen in 2 weeks. Until then, OU passes. Stoops passes a legend in Barry Switzer. And it couldn't have happened to a better guy in a better place, because I don't think that anybody is happier than Bob Stoops than Barry Switzer or Bill Snyder. By the way, with this win over the aforementioned Bill Snyder, Bob Stoops is 4-0 in trips to Manhattan. Pretty good statistic, because Kansas State has been pretty good over the years. Just ask Texas. This has been the OU K-State post-game report. One final time. Sooners storm into to the Little Apple and give Bob Stoops his 158th career win, surpassing Barry Switzer at 157 with a 41-31 win in Manhattan. Until that Bedlam game, everyone take care, and as always, Boomer Sooner, everybody.